All right, so I hope that most of you are here already. So are you guys ready now to continue our discussion?
Yes, sir.
Masyadong malakas. All right. All right. So any questions so far regarding with the sample problem number one? Questions or clarification before we proceed to the sample problem number two? No? Question, guys. Questions or clarifications? Anything?
Wala na siguro, sir.
All right. So if you guys do not have a question anymore, then let's now proceed to sample problem number two. Okay. So this is another example wherein it is asking us to write a program that inputs two integer numbers. Thereafter, the program should determine if these two integer numbers are equivalent. If they are equivalent, use a message box to display the word equivalent. Okay, so we already have the code in here, but we'll create our own code, okay, which is of course similar with this one. All right, so we need two text box, two labels, and then one button. All right, so in here, let me just copy this one and then paste it down below. So yeah, you can copy and paste some components in here. All right, so just Control C and then Control V on the interface itself, and then it will give you another copy. Do the same with this one, Control C, Control V. All right, so in here, input a number, and then let me just change this one into put another number. Okay. And instead of test, I'll change this one into verify. All right. So yeah, there you go. As simple as that. Compare. Yeah, anyway, in my case, I'll make this one verify. Okay, so just double click that one, then I'll erase everything. Okay, aside from the private sub button click after the end sub. Right, so this is one thing that you need to know. Okay, so this is the entire function or the sub function of the button. Okay, so if you don't have end sub, then this starting point doesn't know where to end. Okay, and it will give you an error. So that is why you must have an end sub on every function. Okay. And of course, inside the form, it also had an end class. Okay, so this is your public class, and then it also has an ending point. Okay, so if you don't have end class, then of course it will also give you an error wherein class statement must end with a matching end class. So if there is a start, there is also an end. Okay, so end class or end sub is very important. All right, so from here, we need to declare two variables. So dim x, let's say num1, we'll stick with num1, and then comma num2 as integer, okay? But this time, instead of having a whole number, I'll make this one decimal for us to be able to accept with decimal, okay? So you can declare two variables in one line, okay, if they have the same variable type. However, if let's say num2 okay, is integer, then you have to declare this one on the other row. Okay, so let's say num2 as integer. Okay, and of course you have to remove num2 here. Okay, but if they have the same variable type, which is decimal or integer, then you can declare it as in one line. Okay, so since they have the same type of variable, then I'll just declare it in one line. So this one is much more easier to see, and then much more lesser when it comes to coding. All right, so the next thing that we need to do, so after declaring, of course, we will pass the value of text box 1, okay, text box 1 and text box 2 to our num1 and num2. Okay, so num1 is equal to text box 1, the text, and then num2 is equal to text box text, right? And in here we have to use if statement because we are going to compare those two. So if num1 is equal to num2, then message box, the not in parentheses, double apostrophe, equivalent. So we will show the word equivalent. Okay, so if this is true, then this will be executed, or this message box will be shown to our program. However, if this is not true, then nothing will happen. Okay, so let's test this one. Let's try. Okay, so the first number is, let's say, 1, and then the second number is 1 also. So in this case, we should see the word equivalent. So verify, there you go. So we have here a message box saying that they are equivalent. Okay, so if we'll change the second number into 2, then they should not be, or nothing should happen. Okay, so there you go. Well, you can actually create another condition and another argument, of course, wherein, say, if num1 is not equal, num1, num2, not equal. Okay, there you go. So if num1 and num2 is not equal, okay, so the not equal in here is less than, greater than. So this is the symbol for not equal. Oops, my bad. So I should have changed the message box into not equivalent. Okay. So let's try this one. So 1, 1 is equivalent. 1, 2 is not equivalent. All right. So you can do that one. You can put as many conditions as you want. Okay. And then of course, different conditions, different arguments. All right. So are we clear so far regarding with this one?
Yes, sir.
How about the others?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I now have 3 students. Okay. 4. Okay. So we are 19. I don't know what happened to the other 15 students. All right, so that's it for the sample problem number 2. Okay, so in here, it's just that there's an additional, call this one, part of the message box wherein this is the title. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, we have the title, okay, which is message. And the rest are pretty much the same. All right, so let's proceed to sample problem number 3 and sample problem number 4. So for this sample problem number 3, so this will be not an example anymore since this will be your third quiz. Okay, so I need you guys to read and understand this one and the fourth quiz. Okay, so read and understand also. So in here, in the third quiz, so let me just give you guys a brief explanation. So the ABC Manufacturing Company plans to give a year-end bonus to each of its employees. So write a program that will compute the bonus of an employee by considering the following criteria. So we have 2 criteria. So if the employee's monthly salary is less than 10,000 pesos, the bonus is 25% of the salary. So 25% of this one will be 2,500. Okay. So the first output will be the bonus, which is 2,500. And then the second output will be the total, okay, salary that he will receive. So the salary and then the bonus. So the total is 12,500. Okay. And right here, for employees with salaries greater than or equal to 10,000, the bonus is a fixed 2,500 pesos. Okay, so if you have a salary of 20,000, still you will get 2,500. If you have a salary of 100,000, still you will receive a bonus of 2,500. Okay, but in here, if you have a salary of, let's say, 7,000, then just get the 25% of that one, and then that is your first output, and then the second one is the combined salary and your bonus. Okay, so that is why on your let me just save this one. On your third quiz right here. So we have the same instruction. However, I have included here the how many inputs that you're going to create. So of course, one input only, the salary. And then I need to see two outputs. All right, so again, one output is for the bonus only, and then the another output is the combination of your salary and then the bonus. All right, so are we clear so far regarding with your third quiz? Hello, are you guys able to follow?
Yes, sir.
All right, so how about the others? Are we clear? So I really hope that you guys are listening, especially to those who are not responding. Okay, I'm really, really worried to you guys if you guys can follow, since this is programming. This is not your forte. I guess you, most of you are computer engineering. I mean, civil engineering, not computer engineering. So civil or electronics communication. So yeah, this is just the basic when it comes to programming. And I know that this is not one of your major, so you don't really need to, focus with this one, because you won't be able to use this one in the future. However, this one is helpful, okay, especially if you are going to work on a techie company. Having at least a little knowledge when it comes to programming is also a big deal, especially if you're a civil or electronics communication engineering. All right, so that's it for the quiz number 3. For your quiz number 4, okay, so sample problem number 4. So write a program that will allow user to input an integer. Okay, so take note, integer. Okay, so determine and display if the integer entered is an even number. So I would like you guys to show the result into a message box. Okay, so show that into a message box. So if it's even, then display even. If it's odd, then nothing will happen. All right, so we will stick with the instruction. Okay, well, you can add if you want. So I don't mind. It's okay. Actually, it's better wherein you can identify if it's even, then it will display even number. If it's odd, then it will display odd number. All right. So again, one input, one output. Okay, so that's it for the quiz number 4. So for the software, so I have already mentioned that one many times. So please download Visual Studio 2019 or 2015. So either of those two, anything that is compatible. So you can start with 2019. If it's not compatible, then you can move to 2015. If 2015 is still not compatible, then you can move to 2012, 2010, and then yeah. So up to that version only. 2007 and below is not recommended anymore. So they are too far when it comes to the differences or the features on how to program things. Okay, so the software that you're going to use is of course the Visual Studio. Okay, so regardless of the versions, it's okay, 2019 or 2015. The one that I'm using right now is 2015, I guess. Well, you will not actually notice it since 2019 and 2015 is quite the same. So they are not that far, okay, when it comes to similarities or differences. All right, so the same with what I'm using right now, Miss. What was that again? Miss Gladys. Okay. So this is how you will create things. Okay, so this is the interface part, and then this is the coding part. Okay, and then just save all, and just go to the folder of this program, and then compress it as rar file or zip file. So any of those two will be fine. And then that is the one that you're going to submit on those quizzes of yours. All right. So are we clear so far? You're going with your quiz number 3 and 4. So no question. Going with quiz 3 and quiz number 4. All right, so I guess none since no one is speaking. Anyway, let's now move on to sample problem number 5. So in here, so this is of course another example where it's asking us to program anything. In temperature countries like Japan, there are 4 seasons. So April to June is spring, and then July to September is summer, October to December is autumn, and January to March is winter. Okay, so it says here we wish to write a program that allows the user to select a date using a date time picker. So this is another component in our Visual Basic or Visual Studio. So the output of the program is the season associated with that month and the picture of the season. So we have here an example of the pictures wherein April, June is spring, July to September is summer, October to December is autumn, and then January to March is winter. All right. So we also have here the numberings of those months. So 4 to 6 or 4 to June or 4 to 6 is spring, 7 to 9 summer, etc. etc. So 10 to 12 and then 1 to 3. All right. So in here we already have the given sample codes and then the given sample interface. So we have the label, which is a name as date. And then we have the date time picker, where in July is a summer season. So if we will change this one into, let's say, March, then this will be changed into a winter picture. Okay, so that is why, as you can see right here, we have some pictures that we have imported. So we have the spring.jpg, summer.gif, autumn.jpg, and then winter.gif. Okay, so let me just copy the inside code, and then I'll just tweak this one because this one is already we call this one modified. Okay, this is not the default namings. Okay, when it comes to components. Okay, so let's create an equivalent or an equivalence of that one. Okay, I'll erase everything. All right, so right here we only need 3 components. So the first one is a label. The second one is the date time picker. And then the third one is a picture box. Right? Wherein this is where we will show the image. Okay. If it's winter, etc., etc. And then I will change the font size of those two into 25. Okay. There you go. And I'll change this one into text. Not text. Date na pala, date. All right, so there you go. So that's it already. And then the one thing that you need to program is, of course, is when so upon changing dates, then this will show a picture according to its month. So just double click this one, and then it will lead you to this function date time picker value change. Okay, so I have already copied the code. Well, of course, this will give us a lot of error since DTP1 PB1 is already a modified name. Okay, so I will not change this one anymore. So dim m as integer. So this is just a variable. Well, any variable name will do. So it's just that we are passing the value of your datetime picker. So DTP1 is having an error because the name of our datetime picker is not DTP1. So in here, the name of this one is datetime picker. So if you want to change the name of this one, you can go to a name, okay, wherein, of course, you can put anything, let's say DPS1. Okay, so this will change the address of that component. Well, in my case, I'll stick with the default name, datetime picker1, to avoid confusion. So by default, the name of this one is datetime picker1. All right, so in here, the name of this one should be datetime picker1. So one good thing about Visual Studio is it gives you hint on the variables that is available on your program. So in here, we have one component that is available, which is datetime picker1. So make sure to see if it's the blue one. Okay, if it's the blue one, then that one is the component. If it's not blue, like let's say orange or violet, so that is not the component. Okay, so make sure that you are choosing the correct variable name. So in here, you have datetime picker1. So just hit space, and then it will give you the datetime picker1. Right. So as you guys can see, we don't have an error with this one now since we have put the correct namings, okay, or the address of that component. And then right here, as you guys can see, you are having an error PB1 because this is the picture box, okay, wherein by default, the name of your picture box is picture box 1, not PB1. Well, you can change it into PB1 if you want, but in my case, I'll stick with picture box, okay, picture box 1, picture box 1. Okay, I'll just copy this one, paste it on the other condition and statements. So remove this one. There you go. And yeah, so image the from file. So in here, if it's inside of your program already, the same folder, then you can do this one, spring.jpg summary.gif. But if the picture, okay, that you are trying to get is not on the same folder, wherein let's say it's on the download or it's on the picture folder, then you have to change this one. Okay, so in my case, I have, oops, yeah. So in my case, I have saved it on the pictures. Okay, so I have here the spring, summer, winter, and then autumn. All right, so the first one is spring. So all you do is right click the spring image and then go to properties and then copy the location. Okay, so the location is in local DC, folder users, folder Ryzen 5, and then folder pictures. So just copy this one, Control C, and then go back to your code and then paste it right here. Okay, so take note that is only the location of the picture. So you have to add another slash here because we didn't include the specific picture. So the specific name of that picture is spring. Okay, copy this one, Control C, and then what is the file type? So as you guys can see right here, the file type is JPG or .jpg. So you also have to include that one. So spring .jpg. All right. So there you go. You now have the exact location and then the exact name of that picture. So if it falls on demand, what is this, July? So I'm not really good when it comes to numbers. So yeah, July to July, what's next? Spring, spring to June. Spring to June, April, June, July. Okay, not June, July, August. Okay, so in here, 4 is April, and then 5 is April, June, huh? May. I'm missing the May. Sorry, I'm not that good when it comes to the months. So April, May, and then June. Okay, so in here, if we have the April to June, 4 to 6, it will show as the picture spring.jpg. Okay, so the same with the rest. And as you guys can see, since we have the same address or location, wherein it's on the local DC, folder users, folder Ryzen 5, and then the name of the picture, I'll just copy the location, okay, and then paste it right here. And the next one is, of course, the name, exact name of that picture. Okay, wherein the next one, what is the next one? Summer. Okay. So the name of the picture on my folder is summer. And then the file type, so as I can see right here, item type is JPG. So summer.jpg. If it's PNG, then type PNG. If it's GIF, then type GIF. Summer.jpg. And then the other two is autumn and then winter. So this one is also JPG. And then the last one is also JPG. So all of them are JPG. So autumn.jpg. Winter.jpg. Do we have the correct sequence? Autumn and then winter. Right, so there you go. All right, so that's it for the code of the sample problem number 5. Yeah. All right, so let's try if this one is really working. So just click start. Okay, and then just wait for it. And then as you guys can see right here, so by default, it will not give you anything, but upon changing this one, let's say I want, I forgot one thing. So as you guys can see right here, the picture of the, what is this, August to September, I guess this one is the spring, is not in full or in fit size. So in that case, you have to change this one. Okay, just click the play button into, or from normal size into stretch image. So in that case, the image that will fit onto the accordance of the size of our picture box. So let's start. And then right here, we can change the month. So we have here the, what is this? Spring or summer? I don't know, I'm not sure. And then, we have here the summer. So this one is spring, okay? And autumn. And we have the winter, okay? Because I only know one season to the, when it comes to the Philippines, which is summer. Yeah, we have rainy season, but doesn't even fall on the spring. So maybe it's under spring, yeah, spring or summer, but mostly it's only summer or rainy season. So yeah, that's how to do our sample problem number 5. So any questions so far? Question or clarification? Were you guys able to follow on how program things, on how I created this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I just have a question. Is it difficult? I want an honest answer. Is it difficult or just fine?
Somehow, sir.
Okay, so somehow maybe easy, somehow it's also hard, especially if you don't know what is a good point. Anyway, that's the reason why I need you guys to finish the entire 3 hour and 45 minute tutorial. So in there, you will learn everything, most of the basics. All right, So yeah, that's it for the sample problem number 5. Moving on. So we have here another kind of if statements, wherein before we can only put one statement or one argument, right? But it's not actually limited to that one. So you can put as many statements as you want. Okay, so in here, if you have 2 or more statements, then you have to end it on end if. So we have the starting point and then we have the ending point. So before, so we don't have that one actually before. So there's one right here. Yeah, so as you guys can see right here, we have the starting point, the if, but we don't have end if. Well, this one is okay since we only have one statement or argument. However, if we have 2 or more statements, then that's the time that you have to follow the syntax. Okay, so your first statement right here, second statement, third statement, fourth statement, and then end it with the word endif. All right, so I hope that one is clear to you. So let's have an example. So again, you don't need to analyze this one. You don't need to know what is the output of this one. So in here, I just would like to show that if this is true or if this condition is true, then these 3 conditions will be executed. Okay. So it will give you a message box wherein you are overdrawn, and then another message box will be shown to you wherein authorities have been notified. And then the last one, balance is equal to 0. Okay, so you can have as many statements as you want. So you can add another one right here and add another one so you can have as many as you want. All right, so I hope you're clear with this one. Okay, so you can also add another one. Okay, so if this one is true, okay, this will be initiated. However, if this one is false, nothing will happen. Okay, but if you want, let's say, things will happen, okay, if this is false, then you can follow the syntax. So if this condition is true, then the codes right here will be initiated. However, if the condition is false, then it will proceed to else, and then the statements right here, the false codes right here will be the one that will be initiated. So regardless of the result, it will give you an output, okay, depending on your program. And of course, you have to end it with endif. All right, so in here, it's not only limited to one condition. Of course, you can also put as many conditions for the false code, as many statements for the true codes. So that depends on your program. All right, so again, another example wherein if this is true, then this will be initiated. But if this is false, then this one will be the one that will be initiated. Okay. So are we clear so far regarding with the multiple if statement? Clear? Okay, so I guess Mr.
Yes, sir.
Edmarlson spoke, but yeah, narinig ko na. And Mr. Flores also give me a thumbs up. Okay, I hope to the others who didn't respond are also able to get this one. Okay, so we don't have enough time again anymore. So we will just continue the rest on the part 3. So as you guys can see, we've only finished 15 slides in part 1 and part 2. So this will maybe let us finish one by next week. Okay, so we will also meet tomorrow, okay, to continue the Visual Basic Engine. Anyway, so we will continue whatever we can finish on part 3. So goodbye for now and see you guys on part 3.